Welcome to our training on DAC7, the Directive on Administrative Cooperation 7th Amendment in the European Union (EU). This video will provide you with important information about DAC7. We will explain how it applies to selling partners with their primary address in the EU, what actions you must take to comply with the regulation, and by when. The Directive on Administrative Cooperation 7th Amendment, or DAC7, is a European Union (EU) directive that requires online stores facilitating sales to selling partners with primary address in the EU, such as Amazon, to collect, verify and report selling partners' information and financial data to the competent authorities. If your primary address is in any EU country and you generate €2,000 or more on sales, or complete 30 or more transactions within a calendar year, you are required to provide the necessary information under DAC7 legislation to avoid account deactivation. This also applies if your primary address is in the EU and you only sell in non-EU stores. To comply with your DAC7 obligations, you will be required to complete two actions. 1. Provide the necessary information in the dedicated portal on Seller Central within 60 days after receiving the first notice from Amazon. And 2. Reconfirm this data and declarations in the same portal every 36 months or any time you make proactive changes to the data. Remember, you will need to add this information in every store you are active in. EU is considered as one single store, so if you are only selling in EU countries, you must add it only once in the EU store of your choice. Let's see two examples to clarify this better. A selling partner who is active in Germany, France and Spain stores would be required to add the necessary information only once in one of those stores, while a selling partner who is active in Germany, France and China stores would be required to add the necessary information in one of those EU stores, Germany or France, and in China store. The required information to provide might differ between individual selling partners and entities. An entity is a legal person or a legal arrangement, such as a corporation, partnership, trust or foundation, while an individual is a seller that is not an entity. If you are an entity, you must provide the legal name of your company, business address, any TIN, tax identification number, issued from each member state of issuance, VAT number for the country of your primary address, company registration number, and, if applicable, any additional permanent establishment through which relevant activities are carried out in the EU, indicating each respective member state where such a permanent establishment is located. If you are an individual selling partner, you must provide your first and last name, your primary address, any TIN, tax identification number, issued from each member state of issuance, VAT number for the country of your primary address, and your date of birth. Note that in the absence of a TIN, you must provide your place of birth. Once you become eligible for DAC7, you will receive a performance notification in your Seller Central account. You can access this performance notification via the Performance Notifications dashboard by clicking Performance in the main Seller Central menu. You will have 60 days from the reception of this notification to take the necessary steps to avoid account deactivation. Read the notification and click the link to go to the Legislation Compliance DAC7 portal. At the top of the page, you will find your compliance status. If it is at risk, it means that you need to provide some information, or that some of the information you provided couldn't be verified. In this case, you'd need to check section by section and submit the correct information accordingly. The Legislation Compliance DAC7 portal is divided in 4 sections, clearly identified at the top of the page. In the Business section, you will find the information that is already in our system. If any of the information is incorrect, click Update Identity Info to make the necessary adjustments. You will be redirected to the relevant page to make the updates. Note that changing any of this information will undergo KYC, Know Your Client, verification, which might take 24 to 48 hours. Once completed, go back to the Legislation Compliance DAC7 page to continue. click Save and Continue to go to the next section. In the Tax Info section, you will be able to add your VAT and TIN details. If you have provided a VAT or TIN numbers, you will see those here. If you have not provided a VAT and you do not have a VAT number, select No, I do not have a VAT number. If you have not provided the VAT number of the country of your primary address and you have one, select Yes and click Add VAT. If you have not provided any TIN number and you have TIN numbers, select Yes and click Add TIN. You will then be redirected to the relevant page to add the information. Once completed, go back to the Legislation Compliance DAC7 page to continue. If any of the information on this page is not provided, the Save and Continue button will not be active. If you want to add more TINs, select Yes and click Add TIN, which will take you to the VAT setting to provide the information there. Once you have filled in all the fields, click Save and Continue to go to the next section. Countries of Establishment section will only be available for companies. If you are an individual selling partner, you will not see this option. If you have a permanent establishment in any EU member state other than your primary address country, select Yes and then the country or countries from the drop-down box. You can add as many as you have. Click on Save and Continue to go to the Confirm and Declare section. Review the information displayed on the page. If any of it is not correct, click Edit Details to go back and make the necessary adjustments. If it is correct, click Confirm and Declare button. Amazon will then proceed to verify the information provided. Please allow 24 to 48 hours to check back to know the status of your submission. Remember, you'll find the status of your submission at the top of the page. If it is pending verification, it means that the verification process is still in progress and no additional step is required from your side. If some of the information didn't pass verification, your compliance status will go back to At Risk, and you will see an error message right below the status update. If your compliance status is Confirmation Required, it means that you have already provided all the required information and that we'd need you to review and confirm it is all correct. If it is correct, select Yes and click Confirm Details. If the information shown is not correct, select No and click Edit Details. To change any of the information, click the Edit link under the relevant section and, once done, click Confirm and Declare. If your compliance status shows as suspended, it means that your account has been deactivated due to missing or invalid information. In order to have your account active again, you'd have to submit the required information. Finally, if your compliance status is compliant, it means that your information has been successfully verified and you are compliant to DAC7 obligations. No additional step is required from your side at this point. You can enter the Legislation Compliance DAC7 portal through 1. The link you will find in the performance notification in your Seller Central account. 2. By clicking the yellow card you will find in your Seller Central homepage. 3. By searching Legislation Compliance DAC7 in the search bar in Seller Central. 4. Through the link you will find in the DAC7 help page in Seller Central. And 5. From any other DAC7 notification you will receive from Amazon, such as emails and news announcements. If you fail to provide the missing information or verification is not successful within the 60 days after receiving the first notice from Amazon, your account will be deactivated and your funds will be withheld until the necessary information is provided and verified. Detailed information can be found in our dedicated help page in Seller Central that you can access by typing DAC7 or Directive on Administrative Cooperation 7th Amendment in Seller Central search bar. This concludes our training on DAC7. Now you should be familiar with what DAC7 is, how it applies to selling partners with primary address in the EU, and which actions you might need to take to comply with this requirement. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store.